Earlier this year, onX Offroad partnered with Robbie Layton to build the coolest of buses to travel the country and hit up the industry events. We used our elite partners to turn this thing from mild to wild and ready for anything. Our goal was to make it to the Pacific Northwest Overland Expo. While there was some work still to be done, it was ready for its maiden voyage. Or was it? So, filled up. Oh, I need my receipt. Filled up with some diesel here in Ely, Nevada. Good to go. Tips and tricks for traveling off the grid is burritos, where they're huge. Stop, grab 2 of them, then you're good for a day and a half. Nevada's crazy because a lot of places are like super progressive, but then you got so much old stuff. Like that was an RCA store, like the TV stuff, you know? Let's get some of this. Oh, I need something to prop it. So I just stopped to take a picture and then double check the steering here, and I walk out here and I see this thing move from me. Yeah, look at that thing. I think it's a grasshopper with the biggest stinger I've ever seen. The big thing though is then I look around and they're everywhere. Ooh. When it starts to get that time that you're feeling like it's time to sleep, I usually mark out a spot that looks promising. So as you can see here, I had created a route with this black line down to this Mount Lewis area. Now, as I started coming down, I noticed it was pretty far, and this was probably about 20 miles down the road. I noticed I would go down this road and see what there was to offer down there. Luckily, as I came down, right here on BLM land property was a cluster of trees. If you've been to the desert, you know that looking for some trees and some shade is a pretty important thing to do. So I came down here, noticed I wasn't on BLM land anymore, so I backtracked just a little bit and found camp right in this area. It's midnight, 12:15 here. So that means it's 1:15 at the house, which is past my bedtime, especially because I got another 8 hours, 9 hours tomorrow, and I want to stop by somewhere pretty cool. And I found this amazing campsite by looking at the BLM, going down the road. Found a thing right here by the only trees that I've seen in the area, and there's even a spot where people have had campfires here before. Look how nice that is. Look at trees, all the trees. Very nice little area. The moon's coming up, so I want to get maybe a couple more Milky Way shots. So I'm gonna dig in here and get some shoes. Grab my trusty old Danners to protect my feetsies from these giant, I don't know anything about these crickets. They look mean and nasty, so I'm not gonna mess with it. But I need that Milky Way shot. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was big tough and I was gonna come out here and get a cool shot. And then I start walking and there's just too many of them to to just freely walk. It's crazy. Oh, look at that. The big ones. They eat each other. I read that they're cannibals. Let's get a creepy. I mean, as if that wasn't creepy enough. Let's get the 100 macro on this S9 that I'm using, so then I can use the crop focus, crop zoom, and we're gonna get some creepy stuff now. Oh, they're so gross. Shoo-wee! Would you look at that view though? Oh, farted. Here's this view. I gotta go crawl under this thing and see what I can figure out. And in there's some loose wires. It's my PCM fuse right here. That is popping every time. So I'm gonna look around for loose wires. I'm noticing right now while I'm talking that the heater wire is now visible, which it wasn't before. So I'm gonna look there. That'd be cool if it was just that and just a wire touching. After making it all the way to Bend, I decided to get one more night camping in the bus. About 50 feet from my planned camping spot I had marked out on onX Offroad, the bus turned off. There was power, but would only crank and never start. So I began tracing wires looking for the culprit and hoping it would just be as simple as a loose wire or connection. Never really being able to find out what was actually causing the fuse to blow, I had to give in and send out an SOS. We left yesterday and left this here. We had to give up. I couldn't trace the wires. I know it's something so easy. Couldn't find it, and I'm gonna have to have somebody come out with the right tools. So we connected with Casey, actually Robbie, hit up Casey and talked him into bringing this amazing tow truck out here to get this towed back to our Airbnb so we can have the mobile mechanic come out there instead of out here in the woods. So thanks, Casey. This tow truck is serious. We need to tow this thing from the rear. It's going to be much easier, and then we don't have to pull out the drive shaft. So I am winching it forward up onto the road with some snatch blocks so that I can hook it from the back and be facing out, and we don't have to try to turn this whole mess around on one of these little intersections. Do you happen to have any shop towels or anything? I was trying to ask if they did, but I'm just trying to think of. Oh, hell yeah. There's some here. Actually, I have another roll of paper towels too. Okay. Luckily, Casey's got some shop towels. I don't want to fill up the turbo or anything with dust while we're going down the road, so I'm going to shove these in the turbo. This frame is like a half-inch too wide. So we need more offset to get out wider, but we're due to our bar. But we also need the rise to clear this whole hitch and everything in here. So we turn this around like that. We just gained 3 inches of offset on each side. There, but we also want more rise so that we're not having to tilt to get up under that hitch.
so much droop in those big lift springs that the shackles are about to flip. They didn't when I kicked it, but I don't want to be going down the road and hit a bump and have it flip and drop the axle. Over the frame. Put it down in front of the spring. And then hook with a little bit of slack.
With the expo only one day away, we needed to move as quickly as possible.
Custom bumpers make custom problems. Well, custom vehicles in general.
Little Toyota doing some work.
Right.
You can rule out the accessory ones almost guaranteed, because none of the accessories are what makes this thing run. So if an accessory one is shorting out, it wouldn't be shorting your PCM out. It's going to be a factory wire. Right. Not an the accessory one would pop and blow the fuse to the accessory or make that stop working or whatever. To pop PCM fuses, it's factory wiring somewhere. So that could eliminate a bunch right there. Is don't even look at the accessory stuff, look at factory stuff. You should talk to your bodywork guy who didn't put the hood top on.
Yeah, I've been using my $600 tripod while I was out in the woods to hold this up.
You want to know the good way to find it? Guaranteed.
Is it the headlight tray?
Put a chunk of metal in that fuse instead of a fuse and turn it back on.
I told him let's put a 50 in and see what happens.
You will find out really quick where the problem is. It'll be a bigger problem by the time you do, but you'll know where the problem is.
You're like, I just wiggled some.
To drive this, honestly, guys. It's a matter of time till that happens again.
That's scary. We need it in a booth.
Still up.
So with all that, what we can do is now we know it's in that top section. Yeah. So basically, I wonder how hard is it?
About this, though?
What is it?
I have to wiggle the shit out of this to put it all back together. And now we're just gonna pray to God that doesn't break anything again. It's a matter of time probably before you hit a bump and it's like, so that's the not great thing.
Is that something that could, can you get a replacement or?
A harness? What we need to do to actually like
slice it
fix
open.
This is pull everything out of the way and then pull the harness up and cut the whole thing open.
With a lot of help and a little luck, we were able to find a broken wire on the original factory harness that was causing the short. We were able to do a temporary fix and get the bus into the booth at the very last second.
This is wrong. Yeah, give it a try.
Was following it on social media. Yeah, I saw you guys.
So it's cool to see it in real life and be like, dang.
It is. Yeah, if you guys didn't make it, we probably wouldn't have come.
Yeah.